The Apex Predator, the Legend Killer, the Viper. You can call Randy Orton any of these and still be in awe of everything that he has achieved as a WWE star. He is the youngest world champion in WWE history, a 13-time world champion, Grand Slam champion, Money in the Bank winner, 2-time Royal Rumble winner, and that just begins to scratch the surface on the achievements that he has had in his tenure with WWE. Even though WWE would like us to see Orton as the massively successful wrestling star, they would rather have us not come across any of the Viper's numerous indiscretions. So what exactly is behind the wall that WWE are hiding from us? My name is John, this is Wrestling Hub, and here are 10 things WWE would have you forget about Randy Orton. For most of Orton's WWE run, his tremendous pedigree has been brought up time and time again. Being a third-generation superstar meant that Orton had pro wrestling coursing through his veins. Even though we've seen so many pro wrestlers come into the fold late, very few can claim to be a third-generation product. Few wrestlers can boast this, like The Rock can say he's a third-generation superstar, so Orton would be an elusive company as a result. However, his father Bob Orton did not want his son to follow his and his uncle Barry Orton's footsteps into the world of pro wrestling. Bob Orton had a tough time acclimatizing himself to the life of a pro wrestler and all the hardships on the road. Being away from family and the influences on the road meant that Orton's parents would do everything they could to dissuade him from becoming a wrestler. Randy Orton didn't follow his father's footsteps into wrestling immediately. While most people were expecting Orton to start pro wrestling and enter the WWE, he chose to instead enroll himself into military service after heeding the warnings of his family. Orton joined the United States Marines after graduating high school. He completed boot camp followed by School of Infantry, where he became a squad leader. At some point along the way, Orton realized he didn't have the courage to die for his country and started looking for a way out. And after going AWOL twice and disobeying the order of a commanding officer, he received a bad conduct discharge, which is worse than a dishonorable discharge. Subsequent to discharge, he served 38 days in the brig at Camp Pendleton. This caused him trouble in the future, especially for his acting career. Speaking of that, Orton, like many other top brass WWE stars, has tried to segue into the world of Hollywood. Even though any WWE star can get an acting gig through the WWE production house WWE Studios, most wrestlers have failed in getting that mainstream attention and popularity. While the acting careers of The Rock, Batista, and John Cena are thriving, Orton's never really took off. Orton has starred or appeared in multiple movies, all made through WWE Studios. They include That's What I Am with Ed Harris, 12 Rounds 2 Reloaded, The Condemned 2, and Countdown. He was also set to star in The Marine as well as The Marine 3 Homefront, but was replaced for the first time after hurting his collarbone and the second due to general uneasiness with his Marine history. Orton couldn't become a mainstream name, but his extremely proficient wrestling finisher RKO helped him do the same in a way. WWE prides itself on the seriousness of what they present to the fans. Orton is a prime example of that, being a very protected character throughout his run. He has primarily been a heel in his career, and even as a face, he was never used for comic relief. His sneering and cold vibes essentially means he is as real can get. However, the internet would like to disagree. Randy Orton's finisher, the RKO, has been a cause of comic relief all over the world, after someone decided to superimpose Randy's finisher on someone falling down. This became a trend on Vine. Every failed video would see Taz yelling "watch out" while a photoshopped Orton would slither into the frame and RKO someone falling down. This caused him to kind of become a mainstream attraction, but much to WWE's chagrin. WWE wrestlers are the epitome of macho. They are strong and hard-willed people that can have the ever-living snot beat out of them, but still come back from that and keep fighting. The heart and toughness of its wrestlers is one of the most pushed ideas when it comes to pro wrestling. If a WWE wrestler's beating can still keep another wrestler strong, how would it feel to be laid out on the mat by a fan? Orton in 2013 was touring South Africa with the WWE when a particular fan tried to make a name for himself. Even though fans storming the ring has happened before, what happened here isn't necessarily the best for Orton's image. After his match, while he was on the top rope to pose for the crowd, a fan snuck into the ring and gave him a low blow. Even though it was a local indie wrestler trying to get some free press, this action is something WWE would want you to forget about Randy Orton. Orton was extremely over in 2004. He was about to split from Triple H's led stable Evolution as he realized he can't progress in his career while wrestling for Triple H. After he got a shot at becoming World Heavyweight Champion at Unforgiven in 2004, he took it and beat Chris Benoit to become champion. After that, he saw his character eviscerated by Triple H. As a face, Orton lost all support and had to lose the belt. Not only was his run disastrous, WWE will never be able to show the pinfall which made Orton the youngest world champion ever as he defeated Chris Benoit. Chris, for obvious reasons, is not mentioned by WWE anymore, and his face never appears on any programming for the company. That, in conjunction with how he was treated as champion, meant that his first ever world title reign is a colossal mess. Eddie Guerrero was one of the most beloved men in wrestling history. His tireless lucha libre style had endeared him to fans all over the US and the world. Despite being underutilized in World Championship Wrestling, Guerrero eventually became a WWE champion in 2004 after defeating Brock Lesnar and then defending the belt at WrestleMania 20. His death in 2005 caused WWE to push his real-life best friend Rey Mysterio to the top of the card. This led to Mysterio winning the 2006 Royal Rumble, with Orton being the final person he eliminated. Orton got added to the match at Mania 22 and in the build-up made a highly insensitive comment. He told Mysterio that Guerrero was in hell, in a dialogue that is considered to be in very poor taste even by today's standards. WWE would want to forget that they did something like this, using their biggest star Randy Orton to deliver the same. After the deaths of Guerrero and Benoit, WWE decided that their wellness program was needed to ensure that the wrestlers aren't using steroids or any other banned substances. While many high-profile wrestlers have been busted because of this, including the likes of Jeff Hardy, no name shines as bright as Randy Orton's. During the 2007 calendar year, Sports Illustrated magazine ran a continuing series investigating steroid use throughout the realm of sports. In March, they ran an article accusing several WWE wrestlers of obtaining performance-enhancing substances. Orton's name was included in the list. Orton's fondness for marijuana has also been a cause for concern. Currently, Orton is on 2 strikes of the policy, and 1 more means he will be released by the WWE. Something that has gotten a lot of steam off lately, Randy Orton is a nuisance backstage. He has harassed writers, wrestlers, and countless other people by virtue of generally being an unpleasant person backstage. There are so many stories of this single point that you can find an entire list on the internet. Some notable instances have come out. The latest is that Orton has a habit of sexually harassing all new writers in the WWE by making them shake his hand after he touches himself. There was another story of when he put suntan oil in former Raw interviewer's bag for not knowing his name. Maria Kanellis, Jonathan Coachman, and even John Cena have spoken out about what a loose cannon Orton is backstage. These stories are just the tip of the iceberg, but his unpredictability backstage isn't necessarily something WWE wants everyone to know. In his feud with Triple H in 2009, WWE did a good job of showing that Orton had an explosive temper that probably came from Orton's real-life personality of being a very short-tempered man. He has lashed out against multiple people. When pestered by a fan, for example, who asked for an autograph, Orton signed it saying, "To dipshit." That is just the first example. In a 2009 match against young star Kofi Kingston, Orton can be seen yelling at Kofi for failing to execute the finish of the match. He was sent to anger management classes in 2006 after his outbursts became far and few in between. In 2007, he trashed a hotel room after he was asked to leave a European tour for his behavior. More such examples keep popping up, and WWE surely do not want you to know that one of their biggest stars in history is such a volatile figure that could not be trusted for a majority of his WWE run. And these are 10 things WWE would want you to forget about Randy Orton. I hope you're all having an amazing day. Thank you so much for watching Wrestling Hub, and I'll see you later with more wrestling videos.